Hi there. Welcome to this week's Crypto Astrology. I will dive into the Bitcoin charts and I will take a look at what's going on with the Bitcoin chart and also that as an indicator for what's going to happen with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. I just published a video on Bitcoin Cash, so make sure you watch that. I will just drop the link in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe. I have another one coming out on Ethereum and another one on XRP. I'm doing a astrology look on XRP for members this week to see when XRP is likely to do the things I've talked about. Anyway, I'll save that for another video. But let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually kind of moving up. Never mind, let's set aside the legendary silver moves, which are silver almost hit 90 this morning, but let's just like a quick overview on the idea of silver. A lot of people are Bitcoin maxis or crypto maxis or silver maxis or precious metal maxis, maximalists. And I don't believe in that. I think you should have yourself, positioned across all the good assets. Okay. So I believe in silver. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in cryptocurrencies. I believe in holding both. In fact, I've been buying Bitcoin and silver for I bought silver earlier than crypto. I couldn't figure out crypto that early, but here's the point. They're both good and you want to have the right assets in order to carry us through the astronomical changes that are coming. Okay. So having said that, Bitcoin is moving up and it is kind of pushing. It looks like it might push out of the current range bound state it's been. Okay. It's been in a sort of state where it's sort of below 94,000. And if we could push above that, then we've got a next level to look for, right? To go up. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying, oh no, Bitcoin's going to continue to go down. There's always conflicting opinions out there, but there can be a lot of, I would just say some volatile moves. Okay. There can be moves in both directions. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Nothing goes down in a straight line. Right. So where we're at this moment in time this week is pushing higher, pushing towards another level. And if we break through that level, it's kind of bullish. It means that we could, go up to some higher levels. So let me show you those levels. But if we don't push through it, I just want to be clear, there's a period of time, there's a window of time here where astrologically, where if we don't push through to these higher levels, then we're sinking. Okay. And we're sinking down to lower levels. Okay. Which I've had for members in my members area for quite a while. And even if we do push up to these levels, that doesn't mean we can't drop to those lower levels. Okay. So the question really that you should be trying to ask yourself is the market headed bullish or it headed bearish, right? So overall in the big picture. So overall, I think the market has not peaked. That's all I'm going to say here because it gets complicated to get through all the little corners of the turns and the twists that the market is going to make. But right now, let's just talk about what's going on this week and I'll look at the chart. So actually, let's start here on CoinMarketCap where Bitcoin just pushed over 94,000, which is, it's psychological. Any of those round numbers are psychological. So it's significant just because it's a round number and we've pushed above it. But let's look at the trading chart and I'll give you a better look at what's really happening. Okay, actually here on TradingView, this is off of KuCoin. The KuCoin price is actually 94,100 and change, right? It's pushing up. So we've had a couple of really strong candles. You can see, but basically first thing I want to point out is that I've been telling you guys we've been in an uptrend. Okay, I've been talking about that. But right here, if we zoom in, we can see there have been some strong candles here since, it looks like we started this up move on January 12th. And so we're looking at the 4-hour chart here. Well, since yesterday. So every 4 hours, we've been really pushing higher. So this is a pretty strong move just in, less than 24 hours. Now, that's good. That's strong. But we still have to look at the level we really have to break out of, okay, is the top of all of these wicks. Okay, so right here is sort of the highest we've been recently, which is 94,786. So we really have to push above that key level. We've that pushed a little bit above where we were previously over here, which was about 94.5. So a couple $100 above it. So basically we need to push through this, right? We need to basically shoot through it. And if we can push through it with the kind of volume we've been showing right now, then that's great. That's positive. That's positive momentum for the market to take us up into, towards the $100,000 level. Okay, that's the psychological level. 100K is really important. And in order for us to really be bullish, we have to hit and break through 100K. So what we're really looking at here in the short term is to not just get up to this level, but to push through it and push up higher. And that could happen. That level could be hit. And not only do we want to hit 100K, I mean, there's a couple of possible scenarios. We hit this level or even something lower and drop, or we hit it and drop, or we hit it and push through. Okay, so those are all the possibilities that could happen. Now, the what we're watching for right now is just to see that we break through here. My point is that these higher levels, this higher 100K, once we break through this acts as a magnet to pull the price up to this level. So, this is actually a very bullish move, and it means that Bitcoin moves first, right? So Bitcoin can move and then alts can move, and Bitcoin can move a little and then pull back, and then alts can move, and then Bitcoin can move a little bit more and pull back, and then alts can move, and then Bitcoin, these are all possibilities because of the way that Bitcoin and crypto moves. I just want to give you guys a little education on how this operates. But I would say, based on what I'm seeing with the astrology right now, we can push higher. Okay, we're likely to push through that ceiling that we've had. Okay, we've been sort of trying to push above it. We're likely to actually pop through it. Is this a long-term move? Is this a short-term move? That's the kind of thing I've answered in the update I just did for the members. But the because I do have sort of a sequence of events that I think is going to play out here in the next period of time. And we are in a zone right now here in January where we might want to make some moves. That's basically all I'll say. I'm not going to tell anybody anything what to do. It's I provide information, not decision making. You make your decisions. I do not provide financial advice at all, but I will say that I expect that we're going to get higher in the price of Bitcoin. Let's take a quick look at alts, because alts did push up early this month. Like I said in the beginning of January, that I was expecting Bitcoin would start to move up and get one last push at the end of December, which it did, down, and that we would start to go up in January because tax purposes and the large entities that are invested in crypto, they wanted to keep us down until the new year. Okay. And then a lot of alts made some moves here that first week. So now we're in a week here where what's going on with alts? Let's take a look, because we want to know, because are they going to move too? I expect an alt season to come this year. Okay. I expect we will get a really good alt season this year, but we're looking at the short term. So let's see what's happening right now. So on the shorter term, like today, right? So when we look at this, we look at the coin market cap chart right here. This is 1 hour, what the moves are in the 1 hour. This is 24 hours, and this is 7 days. So we can see there's a lot of green happening here. There's a lot of things that are moving. Even if they've been down for the past week, they're gaining on the daily or even the hourly right now. So we're getting some good moves all across the market. Even Monero being up 48% in the last 7 days. That's a really huge move, especially for a pretty high market cap coin like Monero. It's all the way up at 662. This coin has these privacy coins have done quite well in the recent months against the rest of the market, when the rest of the market hasn't. But you can see it looks as though we're starting to get some nicer moves on some of our coins here. And you can, we can take a look, and Bitcoin Cash is still down, but it's still in the 600s. It's down for the week, but it's up right now on the hourly. And I expect it's going to start to move up and start to hit the levels I spoke about in the chart in the video I just did on Bitcoin Cash. So take a look at that, because Bitcoin Cash is a coin that I really stand behind, and I believe it is the real Bitcoin. So, and it will eventually overtake Bitcoin. I've said this for years. So you can see there are definitely moves that are positive in a lot of altcoins. Now, I wouldn't buy everything in the top 20 personally, but there, certainly are some that are quite good. Let's take a look here at what's the best in the past 24 hours. Dash is a good coin. I like Dash, and it's up 30% in the past 7 days. That's a big move also. Dash is also extremely underpriced at $56. That's my take on Dash. But we're seeing quite a few big moves. I'm not going to say much about these other coins, but except I did talk about Monero, which is also a privacy coin. But we're getting a lot of positive momentum, right? So also if we want to, we can look at the 7 days, right? See what's been moving positively for the past 7 days. And if you click on it again, you'll get what's been going negative for the past 7 days. Of course, Monero is at the top of that list. So is Dash, as I just said, but we can go click on it again, see what the biggest losers are in the past 7 days. Zcash has dropped a lot, which is also another privacy coin, right? So, and then you can see there's quite a few other coins on this list, including Litecoin, Flare, which is a coin on the XRP network. So, this is just a way to see what's happening in the market overall. So what this tells me about the altcoins is that they're starting to wake up. There's some, wake up little energy going into the altcoins. Now, why is crypto suddenly turning around? Well, the stock market's also going up. Why? Because the government has been printing. They've been adding liquidity, which I've been saying for months to my members they're going to have to do. And now that started over the last, since Christmas, really, since around Christmas, they started injecting a lot more liquidity into the system, which is going to push everything up. That's just, you got to understand where you are in the macro environment of the worldwide events. That's why we pay attention to things that are happening in the world. So that's where we stand. I expect we're going to go higher on Bitcoin. And of course, that 100K level is really significant. And it's just a place that I would take profits off the table and then buy back on a pullback especially if I was close to my computer, because I could watch how fast it happens, because it can happen very fast. But the reason to do that is because it's psychological, and we will at least pause a little bit at 100K so you can sell and buy back as long as you're paying attention, as long as you're on top of it. That's not an automatic trade that you can just leave hanging out there and wait for it to happen. So it's a psychological level, and those psychological levels really tend to do that. Also all-time highs as well. But that's all in my trading course, which if you become a member over here at auraright.media, you get the trading course for free. It's free with your membership. There's more modules for the VIP, but there's a bunch of modules. There's a lot of information. It helps you find out what your own personal strategy should be, what's going to work for you. It's for you to learn yourself. That's the point. And then also to understand how the market moves so that you can, in fact, succeed. That's what I'd like to see. So that's it. That's where we're at. And I will talk to you guys later. I'll do another update next week. Make sure you subscribe and like and share this video. Talk to you later. Bye.